So we are back with Confessions of a Beauty Boss, and this one I'm really excited. I'm here with Jenny. I'm excited about this one. It's a bit like story time this week because
I'm a bit nervous.
I know because you've told me these stories. I know most of these stories, and you've told me stories, and I say, "Shut up, that did not happen." And you're like, "No, it did." So we are not going to name names.
No.
And we talked about
And
this
we
for a
wouldn't
long
ever
time.
breach client confidentiality.
That's what I was just
So
going
this
to
is
say.
things that have happened. I've been in this industry for about 27 years.
Yeah.
So this could have been 27 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
and we're saying that, do we put it out? Because if we're talking about it and a client thinks, oh my God, they're going to talk about me one day
No,
or whatever.
never.
This is nothing like that. This is just scenarios that you wouldn't believe that have actually happened in the past. And we're just going to try and tell you a couple of funny stories about them because who knows? It's probably happened. That's another one. Please send us in some stories. I watch another podcast and it's a couple of girls and their couple of their podcast episodes are just a client sent them in a message saying this just happened to me, and it's just the three of them pissing themselves laughing because the scenarios you wouldn't believe. So please, the beauty bosses out there, please send us your scenarios and we'll share your stories.
So this is mainly for the therapists out there.
Yes.
We felt a bit icky about this, didn't we, as well, because obviously we've got different businesses. Urban will find this really funny and we're always a bit nervous for the academy side because we deal with some big players in the industry, but this is reality.
They've probably been there. See the people that own the spas or the spa managers, they started somewhere, so they've probably got their own stories to tell. So we need to stop thinking like that. So today is Confessions Day. So you must have been in scenarios in the beauty salon, in the room, in a treatment room where you've got some belters. You've told me stories about horrible smells, awkward situations, clients that shouldn't be where they are.
Well, let's start with the clients who shouldn't be where they are.
Yes, this one blows my mind because the coincidence of the two sets of clients telling you the same story from a completely different perspective, it just shows watch what you say, where you say it and who you say it to. You never know.
Remember, as a therapist, it's like the confessional.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm sharing elements, I'm not sharing the entirety.
You never
I'm
told
not
them to the next day, guess what she did. None of
No.
that would ever happen, obviously.
And to be honest, if these clients listen to it, because we're many, many years down the line now, a good 15
Probably
years
laugh.
down the line, they'll probably be like, I can't believe she knew.
She worked that out.
She had, no, I can't believe she had both of us in.
Oh, right.
Because none of them knew I did
that
the
you
other
knew the other person?
No,
my
never.
God.
So, story time, are we comfortable?
Yes, get your cup of tea, get your tequila. You're going to need it for this one. No.
So I had a client, because obviously as like the confessional, you build up relationships, who was having an affair. So we don't condone that.
No.
She was having an affair and she was telling me about this guy from work that she was having an affair with. Now on her lunch break one day, she went home with the guy because our kids were at school
Risky.
and her husband was at work.
Very risky.
Her husband got sent home sick from work. She had the front door locked, but clothes were scattered.
Oh my God.
She had been doing the business with her bit in the side.
Downstairs?
Upstairs in the marital
Right.
bed.
Oh no.
I know.
Well, it could be worse. She could do it in her Wayne's bed. So.
Aye, that's true. So obviously panic took over and the bit in the side was like, what do I do? And she's like, well, we're not getting caught. You can't go through the front door.
The
husband's rattling the front door like, what the hell's going on?
He's wanting to go
why
to bed
is
'cause
she
he's
home
sick.
from work?
Aye.
And why is the door locked from the inside? She
Dangerous.
got her stuff together, opened the front door and made some elaborate story to her husband. She wasn't well either. They must have picked up the same thing. Fast forward a few days later.
So she got away with it. That's
she-
the moral of the
so
story.
she's
Is
like,
she's thinking,
Got
no
away
bother.
with it.
Back
So
again
she
next
told
week.
me this story. She had her treatment, off she popped. A couple of days later, I had a girl in for our waxing and we got chatting. Now, the girl was the stepdaughter of the bit in the side.
Right.
They all worked in the same building. Okay, so the woman, the guy she's having an affair with, and the stepdaughter.
all work together.
And then the more and more she started talking about it, and when
It
the
was last Tuesday
timeline,
at lunchtime, blah, blah, blah.
the timeline of when it happened, I put two and two together. And yep, because the previous client had never actually disclosed who the
guy
person
was.
was that she had the affair with. So
and you've just worked it out from that
just
one
worked
story.
it out. And obviously you don't tell anybody. We're years down
No.
the line now. It all ended up coming out dirty laundry. They got caught eventually. So you play with fire, you get burnt, people.
Don't take
But
people home in your lunch hour at your own house.
And don't tell your anybody personal details. I obviously didn't tell anybody, but it just goes to show how trusting people are of you when they're in for their treatments. Hairdressers get it as well,
all
and
the
they're
time.
just
Barman,
disclosing.
hairdressers, there's industries where you just tell people because you form that relationship.
I've heard of many affairs, honestly.
I know.
But that was the first time that I'm like, and then it all came out and the bitching came and they were all like talking about each other, and not one of them knew that each other came to me the whole time. So I get both perspectives of the story for the whole time. That must be quite funny
actually to see the both perspectives. You're sitting there in the middle like, oh my God.
A lot of us do advanced bikini waxing as well, and you see a lot and smell a lot.
Oh God.
So let's face it, like if you're working all day and stuff like that, just have a wee wash when you go into your beauty therapist when you come in for your bikini wax.
When I go for a bikini wax or anything like that,
or a smear or something, like
anything,
clean
I would
the area.
Take a packet of wipes. If I'd been at work, I would go and take a packet of wipes, and I would go and
So you come across smells. You come across, sorry, Paul, women on their period.
Oh no.
That they've got a wee string hanging out, and you're trying not to catch it with a wax strip.
That must be dangerous. Imagine. Oh my God, imagine.
The background.
And that whole comes.
That's the fear.
I know.
That's the fear that it all comes out and slaps you in the face. I was telling Erin some of these and she's so comical, but she was like, oh,
because she's very new to the industry. She's probably not had these experiences.
She's fresh out the wrapper. She's got this head.
She's a baby. Wee Rachel must be the same as well. She's a baby as well. So we've got some young girls who are just new into the industry. These will shock them.
Should I tell the other one about where I get my nickname from?
Yeah.
So this is another one as well, and it's probably my fault that this happened. But do you know what? It's a friend of mine, and she'll not actually mind that I'm not obviously naming her names.
All your friends will be trying to work out what friend you're talking about.
But she used to come for a Hollywood wax. And then you're stretching, you're getting your client to stretch, you're talking, you're trying to get them relaxed because it can be an uncomfortable procedure to get. And
Listen,
then
you leave your dignity at the door. There's two things: getting your wax and your bikini waxed, and having children is the most undignified thing you'll ever do. The positions you need to get into. So
yeah, I was doing the below parts and we were stretching, and she sneezed, and the digit of my finger went in.
In where? Front, back, middle?
Front passage.
Oh
no, it didn't fully go in. It was just the tip, but it was enough. It was enough for. It was
what's
enough.
Your nickname?
Jenny Extras. Now we have a laugh about it.
Sent our pals to you. It's an OnlyFans. You need to start a podcast.
But it was at that moment, it was out as quick as it went in. And it was literally the tip of my finger.
Clickbait. It was out as quick as it came in.
But it was literally the moment of, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then she's killing herself laughing. I'm killing myself laughing. We're needing to get the wax off before it solidifies. So it was a moment.
Needing to wash your hands.
Me and wash my hands. We wear gloves during the waxing procedures. So I could tell you a lot of stories.
We'll save some. Let's not do them in every episode, but again, let's get people to share them because there must be some absolute classics out there.
I suppose that there's some really funny ones like we've just went over, but there's some ones as well where we always highlight in our training to our therapists, we don't want to ever scare anybody, but keep your wits about you in the treatment room.
So, that's a serious one. That is more of a...
Yeah, I've had two, only like bearing in mind how long I've been in this industry for.
Old.
I know, I'm ancient. But only 2 times I would say my safety's been compromised. The first one I worked in quite a large spa, one of the biggest spas you could have worked in from leaving college. And in that day and age...
The area that spa was in though was probably an area of Glasgow that at night and
but
things
we get
like
celebrities
that. I was going to say that, so it's nothing to do with the hotel.
No, it was...
I'm just thinking of you even walking home from that area at night to get your bus and things like
well,
that.
Luckily by that stage I had my own car and we had staff parking.
I worked in the same area. We're talking about the kind of Blytheswood area years ago. It was known for,
Don't say too much, we don't like to say
no,
where the hotel
it wasn't
was.
that hotel. It wasn't
no,
that
it wasn't
hotel.
Blytheswood.
Like driving round that area and things at night, so it was dangerous because I worked down that area and I used to walk to get back to my bus station at night. So,
but you would get a lot of people coming and going who were on holiday in this country and stuff like that, and people like that. Part of this industry is doing male massage as well, so it doesn't faze you. Your first couple, you're a bit nervous, they're a bit nervous, it's a bit awkward, but you got over it quite quickly. Going back to the gut instinct thing, I had a boss in that spa who I wouldn't say was particularly great, but perhaps she never got the appropriate training. She was very kind of unfocused in her team and couldn't really be bothered.
She just wanted to make her targets every month, and it wasn't about you.
Which, by the way, I was smashing. So I would have thought I got some grace for this. But this gent came in for a massage, and I was doing, at that point in time, we had a separate kind of reception area that was private that you would do your consultation in prior to going in the room. And from the moment we did, now there was a bit of a language barrier and stuff, so I was kind of trying to put that at one side and thinking it was maybe that. But something in my gut was just telling me that I was going into something unsafe. And I actually went to my boss. Now, I wasn't one of those therapists that declined anything. I would always, I'm like Erin, I was always giving something a try. And I just said to her, I feel really uncomfortable and I can't explain what it is, but he's making me feel really uncomfortable before I even go in and do this full body massage on this guy. And she basically said, get on with it, that's your job, I don't care. So I went into the room, and that's when the inappropriate questions started. It was like, do you have a boyfriend? And yep, got a boyfriend, and I'll take you out and this and that. And oh, thank you, but no, it's okay. We all got assigned beauty rooms, so you always worked from the same one, and there was a lock in the inside of the door. From where his bed was in the top of the bed, I was currently down the bottom of the bed because I was working in the back of his legs. He tried to lock me in the room.
Wow.
And luckily I had a shower room off to the side of me. So I obviously freaked out. I was 19. I was going
to say that. What were you thinking at that point in time? That
it was sheer panic, and it was that whole, I need to get out of here. Now, thank God I had that shower room, because the other rooms that were up there had a shower room, but it wasn't a separate room. It was within the room that they were working in. Mine's was a separate room that you could walk out. So it was kind of like a hotel joining door room.
Yeah, so you could get out.
So I ran into the shower room, locked myself in, and then ran out the door from the other opposite side, because there was another door leading out to the corridor. And I ran, not to my boss, I ran to the guys in the gym, because we were friends, and they dealt with the situation.
Wow.
So the guy got asked to leave politely
from the building. With a few boots up the ass, I would talk, from the guys in the gym.
He was my last client of the day, and you know, my boss didn't come near me. The senior therapist came up to me and said, you can finish up early the day, because it was my last client, so we were talking about half an hour of difference.
You were finishing early?
You can finish early for the day just because of that tricky situation. We'll see you tomorrow. That was it.
So again,
there was
your
no
boss
HR,
didn't contact you, nobody
no
reported
duty of care.
Nobody asked you to put it in a book or nothing?
We didn't have a rape alarm in the room. We didn't have anything that could signal MD. At that moment in time as well, where the spa was situated and the rooms were situated, it was in the back of beyond. It wasn't like you were in the main centre that if you screamed, someone would hear you.
So if you'd been in that room and he'd locked that door,
well, the boss was in the office way at a different side of the building. I was the only person in the spa area at that moment at the time.
Apart from the guys
but
in the
even
gym
at the gym, it was loud, the music. So they had the windows that stopped all like the sound going through. So nobody would have heard me. Nobody would have heard me. God forbid what could have happened that day. And I was 19 years old. Now my daughter's 17 next week.
Putting her in that
so
situation,
2 years of a difference.
I
could not imagine my daughter being in that scenario. And I would kill somebody if they put her in that scenario. And it was just, I don't know if it was the era that we were in, but nothing, it was all underneath the carpet. And maybe me, my mum having the work ethic, she was like, that's awful and stuff like that. She went, take tomorrow off, get yourself together, which I did. Went back to work. She says they'll address it when you go back to work. Nothing was done. Nothing. It wasn't even mentioned. The general manager didn't even come near me.
That's shocking, isn't it?
totally
we would
appalling.
never put our girls in that
Never.
situation. We don't even have locks on the door. The girls just know
No.
not to open doors in the corridor
No.
in our place. They
And
check our rooms, so we don't even have
at
locks.
least 3 people working in the
Always.
same area.
Nobody
So,
locks up at night on
No.
their own. Nobody's left in the building on their own. So that's another thing. It's flipping that from the point of view of being a boss again.
Yeah.
We set rules for our staff not to put themselves in unsafe situations. And we talked about this the other day there, where you said to me, was it Monday or Tuesday? And I've done it a couple of times. We don't let anybody be in our building on their own at night, because we don't want them walking out to a car park on their own in case someone's waiting thinking there's money on them or
and
whatever,
even
and puts
our
them in a
building's
situation.
buzzing
Yeah.
building, so you couldn't even get in if you wanted to unless we let you in. But,
but
it's
we still don't
the
want them
safety-
leaving and going out to
No.
their car or anything on their own. But we do it as bosses. Why do we think as bosses that we'll be all right? I mean, my husband says to me, you put yourself in situations you shouldn't, because I'm like, I want to get some work finished. Everybody just go up the road. It's not your problem. I'm staying late. You guys all go and I'll stay here. So it's that back to that being a boss thing, where you think you're infallible, that nobody will attack you because you're the boss.
Because you're old.
Because you're old and nobody cares. And because we're like, oh, nothing will happen to me, but we wouldn't put our staff in that situation.
No.
So it's flipped completely to when you were in that industry, where you're like, your boss probably didn't want that, the big brand, the big hotel name getting branded, or getting publicity or whatever. So just sweep it under the carpet. But
you seen that all
shocking.
the time in that particular spa. And that was my very first taster of the industry. And I was just thinking, is this what my career's going to look like?
am I going to have to defend myself? Am I going to
Yeah.
have to take judo lessons and
Wild.
carry a pepper spray in my pocket?
The other time it happened wasn't as severe as that. I worked in a salon, and again, the safety just wasn't paramount. I get left. So our girls can work to 9 o'clock at night, but there's always 3 or 4 girls in. I would work to 9 o'clock at night, and the other ones would be the owner or sister, and the nail tech would tap out at 5.
So
I would
you'd
be in there
on your
4
own to
hours
lock
myself, and it's
lock up and leave.
Yeah, and it was a big salon, so it was just like lock yourself in to do your treatments. So there was this guy that started coming to me for massage, and again it was just like, have you got a boyfriend? It was like, yeah, I've got a boyfriend, and yeah, it was a bit of a laugh as well. It was a bit of a Jack the Lad. It wasn't like scary.
Seedy. He wasn't seedy. He was trying to be funny and joke with you at first.
But he was older. Again, at what age was I there?
Inappropriate.
23 there. And he would probably be 20 years older than me. That's a creep. But at that point, I was just like, what's this guy like? But he was just like, high flyer, I'll take you to Dubai, I'll do this, I'll do that. He was
Think he was impressed.
Oh, he was rotten. He was a wee hobbit. But
your money doesn't change things.
no,
mate.
and I was with Craig at that point, so I'd met my person, blissfully happy, just
even
bought our
thinking
first
about him.
house together. And I was just like, no. So I'd go home and tell Craig, and he'd be like, I'm not happy that you're working in there yourself, and there's this creep coming in, because he would get in his full body massage. And
so he was booking in deliberately to be with you and stuff like that.
And my boss would, and I would say to her, oh, he's starting to give me the creeps. And she was like, just say to him that one of the other people are in and they're working in a different room, so he thinks that someone's in. So I'd have to do this all the time, and then he'd wait in his car because he'd be my last client, and he'd see me locking up myself. So he'd know
that you weren't on your own.
So I was always put in unsafe situations with this particular person. And then it came to one day that he was asking me what I was doing for Valentine's. And stupidly, I told him where I was going, and he's like, oh, what time are you booked in at? Told him. And Craig and I, no, it's not locally where we live. It was actually in Hamilton that we went for something to eat. And at this point in time, I worked a completely different place as well. And I turned up at the restaurant, and there he was. There he was with his date. And believe it or not, they sat us down next to them in the next table. No, I just went.
Did you tell Craig that the guy was
not in that instance, because he would have flipped his lid. So I was just went mute in that situation, and Craig was kind of like, "Why are you been off? It's Valentine's night.
You're supposed to be having a romantic night."
Oh, and then it was just, and you know that way, I just kept catching his eye, and he's like giving me the smile and the cheers to the glass, and I was just, it was. So I went to the toilet and I phoned my boss, and I said, "He's there." Right. She thought it was hilarious.
No,
she was.
I was going to say she was like, he's never coming back in.
Hilarious. And at that point in time, I said, I'm not going to do him again. I decline doing him again.
Yeah.
And then she was like, right, okay, fair enough. But she thought it was hilarious. Now they finished before us, and he left, and I was like, Craig, mind that creep I was talking about? That was him. So he was obviously going mad. But
he was going
again, it's another. such an inappropriate circumstance.
Why do guys think that that's
Appropriate?
aye?
Appropriate behaviour.
Read the roommate.
And I think it's sad.
interested.
I know, but I do. I think it's sad because in the beauty industry, you've got legends that come in. Like, we've got so many good guys that come in for massages.
Yeah.
And let's face it, it probably feels a bit uncomfortable for them as well
Yeah.
at times for a young girl to massage them and they're like, oh, I promise I'm not a pervert.
We're always trying to encourage guys to come in for self-care.
Absolutely.
There's not enough guys out there that are dealing with loads of things going on and they never take that time for themselves. And a massage definitely helps, especially from an injury point of view, but not from...
But not from a creepy point of view.
Yeah, but the young girls in our place, they'll probably look at them and think there's no way she'll be able to fix my aches and pains.
Yeah.
We've got a young girl, a therapist, Rachel, who's amazing.
Oh, she's fantastic
we've
at
got
massage.
clients that book in with her and they're like, I can't believe it. In fact, one of our clients last week was saying to me, for such a tiny girl, she gave me the best deep tissue massage I've ever had because I was in pain, I needed this and I needed that. I couldn't believe it. I kept thinking when she walked into the room with me and I thought, this is going to be rotten. It was the best massage I've ever had because she's like a wee machine.
Oh, she's great.
She's
She's great.
so-
But again, we've only ever had gents in that have been gentlemen.
I know we kind of encourage clients for
Their husbands to
and things like
come
that, so that we kind of know who they are. We would never discourage a male from coming in.
No.
But it's just that.
But if
appropriate
any of the
behaviour.
girls ever came to me and said, I
would
can't
be it.
describe what it
That
is,
would be
I've
it.
just got a
Yeah.
feeling, it wouldn't go ahead.
Yeah,
Their safety's paramount.
yeah, definitely. Well, that was a topic,
I know. I feel like we went from a high there to a bit of a Debbie Downer.
but it's true. It's reality. It's the reality of every day in this industry. It's the ups and the downs and the goods and the bads. And I'm sure we'll have some more funny stories for
Aye,
the
more-
future
more
episodes.
to come.
I know, scary. So will we round this one up?
Yes.
So again, if you've seen the podcast and you like it, just give us a like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do.
Review. It would be
A
great.
review.
We would really appreciate it.
Maybe 5-star review would be lovely. But thank you for listening and we'll see you soon.
Tell me what it takes to get you feeling alive.